No cap, just the rap. Hey, today we're recapping the Showtime series Billions. Season 1. Oh my goodness, guys. I am so late to this series, but hey, better late than never. All right, let's just jump right in. OMG. Okay, Billions is a Showtime series that is in either there's 6 or 7 series now, but for some odd reason I am just now stumbling upon this series, and it is so awesome. Oh my goodness, where do we even begin? All right, let me start with the whole premise of the show. It's like a New York Wall Street stock market, traders, millionaires, billionaires versus the U.S. government, the district attorney's office, who are always doing this cat and mouse game, so to speak, with them. And it's so the writing is so good. The characters are so rich and dynamic. There's a lot of twists and turns. The main character is a guy named Bobby Axelrod, and he's this come up by your own bootstraps type of guy who was raised in the streets of New York and self-taught how to really perform, do good, do well in life. And he's made billions. He's this huge hedge fund guy, and he is married to a lady named Lara, who's the same type of personality. She also came up by her own bootstraps as well, and she's very she's pretty, but she's pretty and mean at the same time. She's definitely somebody you don't want to mess with. She's from the streets, and she is not above taking it back to the streets. But together they're a power couple, and I really like them. I really like the whole Bobby Axel and Lara Axel type of dynamic that they have. And then his nemesis, his arch enemy, is the district attorney, who is played by Paul Giamatti, and his name is Chuck Rhodes. And he's this guy who is obsessed with these hedge fund billionaires, and he's just so against white collar crime. And he's, first you're okay, he makes a lot of valid points about white collar criminals getting away with so much, but then it starts to become hypocritical, because in the story you realize that he comes from the same thing that he says he despises. His dad is a huge Wall Street player himself. He was raised with a silver spoon in his mouth, comes from a lot of money, and has a few hypocritical ways about him, which is okay, so I'm not too much of a fan of his. And then his wife, the dynamics is really interesting here, because he's married to this character named Wendy, who is either a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I forget what her title is, but anyway, she actually works for his arch enemy. She is employed by the Wall Street tycoon Bobby Axelrod, but the thing is, she's been working for him and knowing him way before she ever met her husband. So it's wasn't a conflict of interest, because she's been knowing Bobby way before she even met her husband. And so she continued to work there, and she does a great job. She coaches and gives training sessions to all of the traders to make sure they go out and kick butt and stay motivated and ambitious. And so she does really well. She's really well compensated there. But her husband, of course, hates it. He really hates the fact that she works for his enemy and that she loves her job. So she's constantly caught in the middle of that whole cat and mouse game that they have going on. And she really wants no parts of it, but she's always thrown in the middle regardless. And it's so interesting, which I hate to give away spoilers for anyone who hasn't already watched the entire season 1, but the way that it ended in episode 12, I really was so over Chuck Rhodes, the DA. He actually violated huge because he went and snuck into his wife's work laptop computer to dig up information on his enemy, which was wrong on so many levels. So many levels. I was so done with him for that type of betrayal that he did against, his wife. And I was hoping that he would get caught. I wanted her to catch him red-handed. But when he was actually trying to get into the computer, but she ends up catching him later on, which was really interesting. But I was like, oh my goodness, like, this guy is so hypocritical, it's ridiculous. He thinks that the law only applies to everyone else, but he can break it and do whatever he wants to do. But yeah, when he sees someone else break it, he becomes so upset, and he's so pro this and pro that, and he has to, make sure that everyone is being like a law-abiding citizen, except for him when he wants to do whatever he wants to do. So it's like really like hypocritical on his part. But the storyline is so juicy. It's so good. Again, the characters are so rich. The writing is so amazing. I am so hooked. So anytime you just like want to catch up on something or like binge watch something, this is the show. This is definitely the show. I wish I would have known about this way sooner. It's not for the faint of heart because they definitely use a lot of like language and a lot of things. Like, for example, the main character, Chuck Rhodes, who's the DA, he is strongly into the whole like S&M thing, and him and his wife both are. And so the show covers like a lot of like risky type of behavior. So if you're offended by any of those type of stuff, then this may not be the show for you. However, I will say that even if you're not into that type of television, the writing is so good and the storyline is so good that you still can enjoy the show. It's really that good, guys. It's that good. So, I'm getting ready to dive into season 2. I can't wait. I am so excited to dive into season 2, guys. I will be keeping you posted. I am going to be giving even more details as I go through season 2. Please do not forget to like and subscribe and leave any comments that you can think of. If you have any questions, anything that you think I should be aware of going into season 2, let me know what you think of this show. I really am so excited about it. The main character, Bobby Axelrod, he kind of puts me a little bit in the mindset of like a Tony Soprano from, remember that HBO hit series, The Sopranos? It kind of gets that kind of edge to it, like especially with the relationship that he had with his psychiatrist, the lady there that he had a crush on. It's kind of like a little bit reminds me of that dynamic. And then he also reminds me a little bit of like an Elon Musk type of character. For some reason, when I think of billionaire, I just automatically think of Elon Musk. But this guy kind of like, for some way, maybe I'm wrong, but he kind of puts me in a mindset of like a Elon Musk meets Tony Soprano type of a guy or whatever. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been No Cap, Just the Rap. See you guys soon. Bye.